Okay, so what we're going to be focusing on today for tangible tips of the day. This is tangible tip of the day number 2. Woo! We've made it to a whole 2 videos, guys. We're on our way. All right, tangible tip number 2 is going to be positive thinking. Okay, so how are we? Of course, everybody talks about it. Think positively, think positively, think positively. Well, how do you do that? Especially if you're someone who thinks negatively frequently, like I used to, then this is a very big task to overcome. And one technique that I would like to introduce you guys to is called thought stopping. Okay, and it's a technique used in cognitive behavioral therapy. That's where I was first introduced to it when I was getting my master's degree in social work. And it's a very, very common technique used. So here's basically how it works. You're having a thought about yourself. It's a negative thought. I don't care what that thought is. It could be you are self-conscious and you're aware of something that you're doing that is making you feel more self-conscious, or you just made a mistake and all of a sudden you're like, I suck, I'm terrible at this, it's horrible, man, I should quit, whatever it may be. And instantly, as soon as you notice yourself having that thought, you stop it. So there's a million different ways to do this. You can do it whatever way is best for you. If you're an aggressive type of person, you can say, forget that. No, I'm not. I'm good. Whatever it may be. If you're more soft-spoken, you have a very relaxed demeanor, maybe you are better at visualizing things. So you picture a stop sign. Every time you have that negative thought, picture a stop sign in your head. That way you're aware of the negative thought and you can transfer yourself over to a positive thought. Okay, now the best thing that I've found for myself is actually talking out loud when I'm having a negative thought. So if something comes across my head, Marvin sucks, what I immediately do is, no, I don't. What are you talking about? And hopefully most of the time nobody else is around. If the other people are around, I normally don't have time to think. I'm over here focused on them. But if I'm not around anybody, I openly say it out loud. No, I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm awesome. And that is thought stopping. I also wanted to say this really quick. Thought stopping is a harder technique to use when you're not used to doing it, especially if you're not in a good state of mind right now and you're not around people who are more positive, and you already have a hard time getting into a positive mindset. Thought stopping can be very difficult to use. I found that a while back it wasn't as easy to do as it is today. Today I'm used to using it more and I'm in a much more positive environment than I was a few years ago. So that's definitely a factor that you want to take into account with thought stopping. Just because it's not working for you right now in the next 5 minutes, in the next 5 days, doesn't mean it's not a useful technique for you to use. Okay, so that's something that you might want to pay attention to as you're trying this technique. And make sure you couple this technique with different things that we're going to be talking about on the channel. This alone probably is not going to get you to instant happiness, but it is a good way to transfer over those negative thoughts into positive thinking and to notice when you're thinking negatively, because you'd be surprised how many times a day you have a negative thought about yourself. And if the rest of the world is going to beat us up, why beat up our own selves, right? So that's one of the first things we gotta stop doing. Stop beating up yourself and don't judge yourself. Okay, so try that in your everyday life. It's a tangible tip that you can use for your everyday life. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. If you have any questions or want to ask how it works better, maybe you need some different examples, I can try to give it to you. Leave some comments, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.